Hey y'all, I'm Richardson, and we are Relevate, Real Estate Elevated. Today's episode of I'm Moving to North Carolina Now What is going to tackle a particular topic, closing day, but getting a little bit more specific to that. What can you expect to pay on closing day? So keep in mind during your contract period, there are definitely going to be some other things that are out-of-pocket costs. However, we'll kind of capture that as well as some credits you'll receive at closing and then what that final payment is going to look like. So some out-of-pocket costs that you can definitely expect are inspection costs. Sometimes there could be like a survey cost that has to be paid up front or at least in partial form. So keep in mind, you do need to have some liquidated assets that are set aside. Speaking of liquidated assets, something else that's going to come out of pocket but come back to you as a credit at the closing table is going to be your due diligence deposit as well as your earnest deposit. Remember, due diligence is going to sit with the seller and their account, and then they'll give you that credit at closing. Earnest money is going to sit in a trust account, sometimes with either the firm or the closing attorney, and it too will come back as a credit at closing. Another way that you can actually receive a credit is if the seller gives you any type of concessions. So concessions can be a monetary value that comes off of your total closing costs or can be used towards repairs. Now let's talk about what you're going to end up having to pay on the final day. So one of the biggest things is your property taxes. So if you keep in mind during the entire year, the sellers lived in the home for a portion, you're going to live in the home for the portion. So it's going to be prorated accordingly. Another thing that gets prorated is any type of HOA cost or association fees. Another big one is a capital contribution fee. Again, this is still kind of associated with the HOA, your homeowners association, but a capital contribution fee is a one-time fee that often happens when there is a transfer of real property. In some associations, in their covenants, their bylaws, they'll have all those fees outlined. Keep in mind, the seller is also obligated, this is a material fact, to disclose any type of fees you're going to obtain when you buy the home or that you'll have in perpetuity. Another big one is your title search, your title insurance fees, as well as a loan origination fee, any type of homeowner's insurance policy, and then your closing attorney costs, your doc preparation fees. These are all different smaller fees that you'll receive on your closing statement. Remember, on that CD, your closing disclosure, it'll kind of outline your side of the ledger, and then your ALTA, your settlement document, will show both sides. Another big cost that people often think is the only closing costs they're going to pay is your down payment. So a lot of folks will think 80-20. That's kind of an old rule of thumb. There are so many loan products out there where you can have as little as 0% down. So keep in mind that down payment amount is going to shift dramatically depending on what type of loan you have, if it's conventional, a physician's, FHA, or anything in between. So in a nutshell, guys, that's what you can kind of expect as far as your side of the ledger of what's going to be expected on closing day. Please be sure to talk to your lender, your trusted advisor that you're using throughout the process, so they can kind of outline what the expected cost will be before you go under contract. You always want to make sure that the numbers add up, pun intended, so that you can actually bring the appropriate amount on the final day when the home is about to become yours. I'm Richardson with Relevate. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify and podcasts everywhere, and we'll see you next time.